Good morning students. Today we are going to understand the chapter Manufacturing Industry, class 10th. After studying about this chapter, we will be able to understand all these contents, the classification of the industries, iron and steel industries, fertilizer industries, cement industry, jute, aluminium, sugar, automobiles. The first thing is, why do we require industry in our country? Now the industries are required to modernize the agriculture. It also provides employment opportunity to the million of people. It increases the country's income, and if the country produces more amount of goods, they can export and they can earn the foreign exchange out of it. It also improves the country's infrastructure also. Apart from this, it reduces the regional disparities among the region. It reduces the burden on the agriculture sector and increases the employment opportunity there in the industrial sector, and this help in reduction of the unemployment, and hence the poverty of the country is also being reduced. That is the reason that manufacturing industries, they are very important for the growth of the country and the nation. Different questions can be asked like this: the economic strength of the country is measured by the development of the manufacturing industry. So you'll be writing about the importance. Why do we consider manufacturing sector as a backbone in the general and economic development? Because it has so many important things. And why manufacturing industries are important. Now if we talk about the location of the industries, we try to locate the industries wherever we get the availability of cheap raw material, availability of labor. Now it depends upon what kind of labor do you require. Do you require the skilled labor, unskilled, educated and uneducated? Availability of power and the infrastructure facilities. Proximity to the market, because you need to supply the goods to the market also. And then availability of the transportation and communication. If the transportation and communication is not going to be there, how the industry is going to sell the product in the market. Now if we look the agriculture and industries, both are complementary to each other. In other words, we can say that we cannot separate agriculture from industry. Both are inclusive to each other, they are not at all exclusive. Now the reason for this is basically agriculture provides a lot of raw material to the agro-based industries. So if we increase the number of agro-based industries in our country, it will increase the production of the agriculture. So it boosts agriculture production. Apart from this, to develop the agriculture, to modernize the agriculture, we do require fertilizers, irrigation pumps, insecticides, pesticides, PVC pipe. These all are produced by the industrial sector. So if you see that both the things, agriculture and industries, they are helping each other to develop the country's development. That is the reason that we say that both agriculture and industries, they go hand in hand. We cannot separate them from each other. Now to understand the industry in a better manner, we have classified the industries on the basis of the different attributes. The first attribute is on the basis of the raw material. Now, on the basis of raw material, we have divided the industries into two categories, that is agro-based and the mineral-based industries. Agro-based industries are those industries which are using the raw material from the agriculture. Mineral-based industries are those industries which are getting the raw material from the mining activity. Another attribute is on the basis of the role. On the basis of role, again we have two categories of industry. One which we call as a basic or key industry. Another one which we call as a consumer good industry. If we talk about the basic and key industries are the industries which are primary in nature. They produce the machines and equipments for the other industries to work. So if we are not going to have more amount of basic and key industries, we won't be able to develop the other industry. That's the reason we call it as basic and key industry. The second, we have the consumer industries. Consumer industries are those industries which are producing the final goods for the consumers. So if we are totally dependent on the consumer goods, that's why we call it as in secondary industries. And consumer industries for the machineries, they are dependent on the basic industries. Another classification is on the basis of the capital investment. Now, we have divided the industry into two categories. Like if the industry is having the investment less than 1 crore, we call it as in small scale industries. And if the industry is having more than 1 crore, we call them as in large scale industry. So 1 crore plays an important role to bifurcate the industry on the basis of capital investment. Another category on the basis of the ownership. On the basis of the ownership, we have 4 types of industries, that is private industry, public industry, cooperatives and joint industry. Now if we talk about the private industries, they have been owned by the private entrepreneurs. It might be by one single person or maybe by the group of people. Their objective is to earn maximum profit out of it. If we talk about the public industry, it has been owned by the government, and government is a welfare state, so government do not earn profit out of it. Whatever the government produce, it produces just for the welfare of the people. Third, we have the joint industry. In the joint industry, it is jointly run by the private as well as public individuals. Next, we have the cooperative sector or the cooperative industries. Here, the person who has been involved in the supplying of raw material to the person who has been involved to supply the final good to the consumer, each and every one cooperatively they work together. The profit has been divided among all the people, and they get maximum profit out of it, because they know that the more they are going to work, the more benefit is they are going to gain. On the basis of the weight of the raw material also, we have 2 types of industries. One is the lightweight industry and another one is the heavyweight industry. If the raw material is lighter in weight, like for example, if we talk about the cotton industry, the raw material used by the cotton industry is lighter in weight. So we call this industry as a lightweight industry. If the raw material is heavier in nature, like we call it as the heavyweight industry. Like for example, we have iron and steel industry. They have the raw material which is heavy in nature. Now, among all the industry, now we are going to study about the different types of agro-based industries and the mineral-based industry. In agro-based industries, we are going to first study about the textile industry. Now, if we talk about the textile industry has a unique position in the Indian economy because it has certain advantages. Number one is it do contribute a lot to the industrial production. It do generate a huge employment opportunity after the agriculture sector, and we earn a lot of foreign exchange, also approximately 24.6%, and it contributes towards the GDP. Apart from this, you can see from this picture, this particular industry, that is the cotton industry and the textile industry, it's an industry which is a self-reliant industry which complete the total value chain. Now there is a flow chart which is being given over there. You can see that we have fiber production, one of the part of the textile industry. The second one is the spinning of the yarn, weaving and knitting, dyeing and finishing, garment manufacturing. Now they have been supplying the raw material to each other. That is the reason we have said this thing. This is a self-reliant because they have been supplying the raw material to each other, and at every time they are adding certain value to it. That is the reason that this cotton textile industry occupies the unique position in the Indian economy. Now if we talk about the cotton industry, before the 18th century we used to make the fabric with the help of the hand spinning and the weaving. After the 18th century, power loom came into the existence. But during the time of the British rule, this industry, especially the handloom and the powerloom, suffered a lot because the Britishers, they took the raw material from our own country and then they made the fabric and the garment, and then they had a huge market which was available here in India. So this was a big setback for the handloom as well as the powerloom. The first successful textile industry was established in India in the year of 1854. Now if we talk about right now the present scenario of the cotton textile industries, now this right now we have cotton textile industries in all over the country, but basically mainly we have maximum amount of cotton textile industry in the area of the Maharashtra and Gujarat. So we have certain factors responsible that why we have maximum cotton industries here in Maharashtra and Gujarat. Number one factor, we have the availability of the raw cotton, because this is an area which is a cotton growing belt. So cheap raw material is available over here, that is cheap cotton is available for the industries. Now market is also available because this is an area where we have the moist climate. So people, they do not prefer the synthetic fiber, they prefer to wear cotton fabrics. The market is available, demand is more for the cotton fabric in this region. Transport facility is also been available, a good network of transport facilities is there. Whether we talk about the railways or we talk about the roadways, we can supply the cotton fabric in all over the state. Plus we have the port facility, one of the famous port in Gujarat which we call as in Kandla. Another port which is there in Mumbai, which is in Maharashtra. These ports are there from where we can export the fabric to the other countries. So we have the port facilities in these areas also. Labor is also available now, all kind of labor is available, whether we talk about the skilled labor, unskilled, educated, uneducated. And one more important thing is moist climate is very good for the spinning of yarn. So these all are the factors because of which the cotton textile industries are mainly concentrated in the area where in the areas of Maharashtra and Gujarat. Now if you see, like we export yarn to the Japan and we export the cotton goods to USA, UK, Russia, France, East European countries, Singapore, Sri Lanka. Cotton industry plays a lot of problems also, like use of poor quality of yarns in our mills. Actually, we do produce a very good quality of yarn. We are producing around 25% of yarn of all over the world, and that to very good quality. But we are not able to use that good quality of yarn within our country because we don't have that kind of machinery to use it. So our machineries, our mills are basically using the poor quality of yarn. As the quality of yarn is poor, the fabric which we make is not as good as where the other countries they are manufacturing. Then we have the tough competition in the international market. Maximum good quality of yarn is being exported. Erratic power supply, the power supply is not proper. Machinery upgradation is not there. And the low output of labor is also one of the problem of the cotton textile industry. This is the map work of the cotton textile industry. If you see, we have certain areas where we have a large amount of cotton textile. Kanpur, which is there in Uttar Pradesh, an important cotton textile industry. Indore in Madhya Pradesh, Ahmedabad and Surat in Gujarat, Mumbai in Maharashtra, Coimbatore and Madurai, the two important cotton textile industrial center. Now the second important agro-based industry, we have the jute industry. If we talk about the jute industry, India is the large producer of raw jute as well as jute wood, because and maximum jute industries they have been located there in the area of West Bengal, which is a jute producing area. And we are the second largest exporter of jute goods after the Bangladesh. The first jute mill was set up near the Kolkata in 1859 at Rishka. After the partition of 1947, uh, India had only a small amount of jute mill left. Three-fourths of jute mills they were went to the Bangladesh, which was earlier called as in East Pakistan. Now, as I told you that maximum jute industry we have in West Bengal, which is also been called as an Hooghly Basin. So we have certain factors which are responsible that why these jute industries they have been located in the Hooghly Basin. After that, the first factor we have the proximity of jute producing there, because it's an area where a large amount of jute is produced, so it's easily available to the jute producer. The second one, we have the inexpensive water for the transport. The Hooghly River is available to supply the goods, manufactured jute product as well as raw material from one place to the another. Then a good network of railways, roadways, waterways plays a very important way to facilitate the movement of raw material to the mills. Then abundance of water for the processing of raw jute, because jute require a large amount of water for the processing. So the water is also available by the help of the river Hooghly. Cheap labor is also available from the adjacent states, because if you see nearby West Bengal, we have adjoining states like Bihar is there, Odisha is there, Uttar Pradesh is there. So from where the people they migrate to the West Bengal, and that is the reason that cheap labor is also available in these states. And then another important thing is Kolkata is working as an urban center which provide all type of facilities to the jute producers, whether it's an insurance facilities or the subsidies given by the government or the banking facilities, and port facilities also being available there. Jute industry is having a lot of challenges also, because it's very difficult to maintain the jute. Its maintenance cost is very high. Apart from this, this jute industry is having a stiff competition with the synthetic fiber also. In order to develop the jute industry in our country, the government has initiated a jute policy which we call as a national jute policy, which took place in the year of 2005, and it had a lot of objective, like to increase the demand of the jute product, to increase the productivity of jute in the areas, to increase the quality of the jute, to assure the good price so the producers they get maximum benefit, and to enhance the yield per hectare. The third agro-based industry is we have the sugar industry. Now India is the second place in the world in the production of sugar, and we are the first in the production of gur as well as in the khansari. And if we talk about the sugar industry is basically located wherever the sugar cane is being produced. Now, if we talk about the location of sugar industries, we have maximum industries which have been located in Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and Haryana, because this is an area which is where we have maximum sugar cane which is being produced. But nowadays we have seen a tendency of sugar industry, they are shifting towards the south and southwestern states, especially in Maharashtra. We have certain factors that why these industries they are shifting. So we have number one factor is that in Maharashtra, the sugar cane which is produced, it has a higher sucrose content, and the sugar cane which is produced here in the northern part of the country, it has lower sucrose content. So higher sucrose content means the production of sugar is going to be more. So producers they get more profit out of it. Another factor is the cooler climate. Now if you compare the climatic conditions of Maharashtra and in northern part of India, in Maharashtra we have comparatively lower temperature throughout the year. So when the temperature is lower, the crushing period of sugar cane becomes comparatively more, because we cannot store sucrose. We cannot store sugar cane, because if we are going to store the sugar cane, the sucrose content will get dried up. So if the climatic condition is cooler, we can have a longer crushing season and the sugar industry can work for more number of months. Another factor is the cooperatives which are there in Maharashtra. They are very successful for the sugar industry. So that is the reason that the maximum sugar industry, they are shifting towards the south and western states of India. Certain problems or challenges are also there faced by the sugar industry. The number one challenge is that the sugar industry is seasonal in nature. Sugar industry works only for 4 to 5 months in a year because we cannot store sugar cane. So the remaining time period the industry do not work. As the industry do not work, the maintenance cost of the machines is increasing. Next factor, we have the old and inefficient methods of production, and the factor we have if there is a delay in the transportation of reaching the sugar cane to the factories, the sucrose content gets rise up, and if the sucrose content gets rise up, the productivity becomes comparatively low. And the last challenge is needs to maximize the use of the bagasse. Now this was all about the agro-based industry. Now we are going to study about the iron and steel industry in our country, especially the mineral-based industry. In this, we'll be studying about number one industry, iron and steel industry. Now, iron and steel industry is basic and key industry because it is producing the machineries for the other consumer good industry. It measures the index of the development because if we are going to have more number of iron and steel industry, the development is going to be more because indirectly it helps with the consumer good industry. Iron and steel industry uses a raw material which is very heavy and bulky in nature. We have the ninth place with 32.8 million tons of steel annually, and we are the largest producer of the sponge iron. The per capita consumption is around 32 kg per annum. Now if we talk about the iron and steel industry, we have two types of iron and steel industries in our country. One which we call as a mini steel plant, and the second which we call as an integrated iron and steel industry. If we talk about the mini steel plant, as the word indicates, it is smaller in size, and they use basically scrap iron, sponge iron. All the processing is not being done under one roof. And if we talk about the integrated iron and steel plant, the word clearly indicates that all the processing is being done under one roof. Now, as all the processing is done under one roof, we do require a large amount of investment. We do require a large amount of raw material. That is the reason that maximum integrated iron and steel plants, they are being located where the raw material is available. Now, if we talk about iron and steel plants, it do require raw material like iron ore is there, coking coal is there, limestone, and they do add a small amount of manganese. Maximum we require iron ore and the coking coal. So wherever we have large amount of iron ore and the coking coal, this integrated iron and steel plants, they are going to be located there itself. This we'll see with the help of the map also. Now if you see in the map, we have these all are the 10 integrated iron and steel plants which are there in our country. We have in West Bengal, Orissa, and Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, where we have the maximum amount of iron and steel plants. We have in Karnataka, because that is also an area where we have good amount of iron ore which is being available. And if you see properly, we have out of 10, 5 have been located in the areas of Chota Nagpur Plateau. Now Chota Nagpur Plateau is there in the areas of Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh, that area. So 5 are there. If you see, we have Jamshedpur, Vanpur, Bokaro, then Rourkela in Orissa, Bhilai iron and steel plants in Chhattisgarh. Now, why we have maximum Iron and steel plants, they are being located over here because it has a large amount of advantages. Here we have a large amount of iron ore, so the low cost of iron ore is there, and the quality of iron ore and coking coal is very good in these areas. Plus the cheap labor is also available for the, it has available so that we can produce more amount of iron in this. That is the reason that we have maximum iron and steel plants located in the Chota Nagpur plateau. Now, in order to increase the iron and steel plants, government has taken a lot of initiative. Government have taken two types of initiatives. One is the liberalization policy and the foreign direct investment, so that we can increase the production of the iron and steel in our country. The next mineral-based industry, we have the aluminium smelting. Now, aluminium uses the raw material in the form of bauxite, and it would require a large amount of power supply to convert the bauxite into the aluminium. It has a very good strength, so that is the reason that we use aluminium for the making of the aircraft. It's a good conductor of heat and electricity. We make the wires from the aluminium also. That's the reason that aluminium smelting, again, an important industry in our country. Next industry, we have the chemical industry. It's fast growing and diversifying industry. It contributes around 3% of the GDP. Next industry, we have the fertilizer industry. Now, India is an agriculture-based country, and we do use the green revolution where we require a large amount of fertilizers. So, fertilizer industry is also an important industry in our country. India is the third largest producer of nitrogenous fertilizers, which is very important for the cultivation. Mainly the fertilizer industry, they have been located in Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Punjab and Kerala. Third most industry, we have the cement industry. The first cement plant was located in Chennai in the year of 1904, and it is very, very important for the development of the infrastructure facility. As the urbanization is taking place, as the development of the country is taking place, so we do require a large amount of cement industry. We are producing a very good quality of cement, so we do export the cement to the Gulf country, Africa as well as South Asia. Next industry, we have the automobile industries. Now, all kind of automobiles are there in our country. After the policy of 1991 liberalization policy, there was a boost in the automobile industry, and mainly automobile industry, they have been located in Delhi, Gurgaon, Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Lucknow, Hyderabad, Jamshedpur, Bangalore. Now, this industry, information technology industry, IT industry, I think it's a very important industry because as the globalization is taking place, IT industry is very, very important. Bangalore is a capital, electronic capital of India, and plus information technology provides a good employment opportunity for the educated youth. It has provided a lot of employment opportunity for the women also. So that is the reason that this industry is very, very important, because as the literacy level in our country is increasing, education level is increasing, people, they do require good employment opportunity. The IT industry is providing them the good employment opportunity. Now we have all over the country, we have different software technology parks which are providing the facility to cater all type of information in all over the world. Mohali near Chandigarh, Noida in Uttar Pradesh, Jaipur in Gujarat, Gandhinagar, Jaipur in Rajasthan, Gandhinagar in Gujarat, Mumbai, Pune in Maharashtra, Bangalore, Mysore in Karnataka, Chennai in Tamil Nadu, Hyderabad in Telangana, or Andhra Pradesh. Then we have Vishakhapatnam, Bhubaneswar in Orissa, Kolkata, which is there in the West Bengal. These all are the important software technology parks which have been located in our country. Now these industries, they have been responsible for the environmental degradation. Now these industries, they causes different type of pollution, like land pollution is there, air pollution is there, water pollution is there, noise pollution is also there. The machines, the automobiles, when they work, they do create a lot of noise and it causes a lot of illness among the people. The industry, they discharge their waste in the river, and ultimately the water get polluted and the aquatic life get affected. Air pollution, many of the industries, they discharge their smoke from the chimney, so ultimately the air pollution also take place. They discharge their waste on the land, because of which the land degradation also take place. So these industries, they are responsible to degrade the environment. They are causing a lot of environmental degradation. So we need to have some kind of measures to work on the environmental degradation. For this, we need to have some kind of rules and regulation. Disposal should be done in a proper manner. Now, minimizing the use of the water, using the water by purifying it, rainwater harvesting for the conserving water. Now, the treating of the industrial wastes, industrial and chemical effluents before they are being discharged into the rivers, which is very, very important. Then, minimizing the use of the coal. Selection of fuel is very, very important. Instead of coal, if we use oil, that will reduce the air pollution. Establishment of the water treatment and sewage plant for preventing the land and the water pollution. NTPC is also doing a lot of work to control the environmental degradation. Thank you.